soon as it starts, just let me know.
I think it started already. I think. Let's see. Never Games is just chatting live. You're allowed to clear your throat on stream. It's a rule. That would not work for me. Are we live? Click here to reload player. Hello, everybody in the world. Hello, everybody in the world. Well, I can't load it on my computer, but I think that might just be a me computer thing. I hear it.
I can hear you too. How come? I hear Richard like a second Richard.
Because you probably have the audio on from the stream. You have to mute the stream so you don't hear two of me. You know? I can't see the stream for some reason. It's very strange. Oh, it might be like because I have ad blockers and things. I'm trying to get around Twitch. We also don't have ads on our stream, but we'll try again. Well, I can see the chat, I think. Has anybody said anything in the chat? Okay. Let's see. Yeah, let's do that. I'm also going to try and figure out why my Twitch isn't working. There we go. Oh, and I got ads. Terrible. Wait, so they're advertising and we're not getting any revenue from it? That's kind of lame. Oh, now I see stream starting soon. Yeah, perfect. Nice. I like Fabio's background with the two speakers on either side. Looks like there's a Starship Command behind you.
I was thinking about from Kirk, but I blank. I know. I don't know.
Something Star Trek something.
Beam me up.
That's the thing somebody says in Star Trek.
Beam me up.
But it's not Kirk, it's Scotty. I mean, Scotty's supposed to be the one to beat me up, but I don't know who Scotty is. I'm one of them. And you're one of them. Abby, are you one of them?
Hope so.
Yeah, do it. Why not? It looks great. Right. I have darkness. Say hello. Say hello to us. see 3 people. They might all be you. The boxes look good though. Yeah. Do you know how many like hours you have in the game so far? Oh yeah, true. Okay. So not focused hours. Yeah. There was one I think that I made um extremely early on, like when we were I don't even know if the thing had been public yet. The fact that there was like level that you could make levels, stuff like that. Anyway, I made one. I think it was called Faces, and it was just like a bunch of little cubes that had different kind of smiley faces in them. And maybe just because it was so early, but it got voted up a whole bunch of times, so it has like 8 trillion plays or something ridiculous. But that was designed to be like easy enough that a beginner, not quite beginner, but like someone who knows how to sprint and wall jump should be able to do it. Just like is able to at all, as opposed to like doesn't know what the sprint button is and like slides down a wall and is like, oh look, the animation changes, but doesn't understand that you could actually jump off the wall. That's like we're talking like grandparent mode. So it has to be just a little better than that. Yeah, let's do it. Thought we already started chatting. No, not yet. I mean, yes, in your life at some point, but not today, not yet. That's also not a question you would ask. You don't ask your mom what her name is, right? Hopefully, you know your. Yeah, you would think. That is interesting though. Watching like my nephew, and they had to teach my nephew their names, their actual first names, because they're like, "Who's that? Who's that?" And it's like, "Mommy, Daddy." But then like, if you're lost somewhere, they're like, what's your dad's name?" Well, it's not just dad, right? It's something. So they actually had to teach him at age 2.5 or 3 or whatever, like our other names are this and this.
Is there audio coming through for me? Sorry, we got a lovely comment that says there's no audio for me.
Oh yeah, I have.
Oh, beautiful. Can we hear everyone? Fabio, would you like to speak as well?
Hello.
Did we hear Fabio?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello. Oh, cool. Wonderful. Thank you for pointing that out. The biggest crime would be not hearing my lovely voice on this Thursday. Heyo, friends.
Are they listening to us?
They are.
Great.
Hello. Let's kick
Not
this.
Sure about listening. Definitely hearing. Listening is maybe not. We'll find out.
It's true.
We'll put a quiz at the end of the thing.
There's always that lovely. Of course, we know horsing, or I guess it depends on. Sorry, I'm answering the chat. They said you know horsing, and we do because horsing is also in our Discord under a similar but slightly changed name. There's an ASAP involved. I'm like afraid to share your username for some reason.
Yeah, I see a raid message. Horsing ASAP. I do see the raid message.
Aww. Love to be rated. Up our stream quality. Are we referring to the quality of our camera or just like the quality of like what's coming out content wise? That's the first question of the hour. All right, let's kick this off. How are we feeling?
Yeah.
How are we doing, Rich?
Great. Feel good. How's Fabio feeling? See thumbs?
I feel. Ow! I feel good. Ba-do-da-do-da-do-da. I put in my hoop. Ba-do-do-da-do.
I
Good.
feel
That's a
good.
good.
I'm doing pretty good, but admittedly, I have a lot of cold brew in my body right now, so I'm functioning. That's how you know
Fire.
all is well. All right. I have a very interesting sort of kickoff question.
Mm-hmm.
What is your dream job? So we're gonna assume that you've already, like, gaming is not part of the equation. We're doing something completely different.
So assume no game industry work
Yeah.
at all.
So
So if
let's
it's not
take
in the
games
industry.
out of the equation. Rich and Fabio, what would you do? What's your dream job?
That's not very fair for me because I would still be probably doing the same. I would be drawing and making an animation, but not for games.
That's fair. I think that
Yeah.
still
I'll be
counts.
probably working on animation.
I think that's kind of, I think it can be pretty different. I mean, you would know more than anyone. I think that it can be different. Rich, I'm gonna
Yeah.
guess music for you. Somewhere in music. Or no?
What's your guess? What's your guess, Fabio? Just while we're guessing.
You?
Yeah.
I know what you would do. You would do something about nutrition,
Yeah.
stuff
My
like
second
that.
guess.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think currently that's the answer. It would be a mix of like personal training and nutrition, and it depends. If you gave me like 4 years, then maybe I would go back to school in something related to like health and um, physiology and nutrition and chemistry. But if I wasn't doing that, like just had to start without going back to school, yeah, it would probably be something like personal training and nutrition now. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a dream job. I'm like, do I dream of jobs? I think
A dream vocation.
dream vocation. The chat
Not
box is
vacation.
gone. Oh,
Also,
why?
I just want to
no.
to say that I would be working with animation, but it was not going to be a dream job because animation tends to be a terrible job. It's super stressful. It's long hours work. Like I am lucky that's not the case in Clever Endeavor. At Clever Endeavor.
I do have some friends in those fields. Unfortunately, this chat box is not working. Although everything seems
Yeah,
to
I
be
don't
set
see-
in place. Yeah, that's really
I
strange.
don't see it popping up.
Okay.
I mean, I see the chat. I guess it's not going to show up in like pre-recorded or like if you watch it back again on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Still very strange. Sorry, friends. We can see your chats though. I do see that like there's people talking. Like I can see Horsing and Dector.
yeah,
Interesting. All right.
Okay.
Our
Chat
chat box
box.
isn't working. Only these three
That's
chat
okay.
boxes are speaking. It's us. But I do see your box, guys. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm gonna figure that out for a future stream because now seems inopportune. But thank
I
you.
just looked at the subtitles and it said our cat box is working or isn't working. I was like, what is our cat box? Is that
A litter
It's like-
box.
I was thinking like Schrodinger's cat kind of cat box.
Oh.
You know.
Oh, that's much darker. Maybe not.
Anyway, what's your dream vocation?
I mean, I would love to. I think I would love to be able to just write poetry because you can't actually like making money off poetry is just not a thing. So it's not actually like like the chances of it being a job is much harder. Usually you have to do like poetry and teaching and all these other things. But this is if I'm excluding games because I love so many parts of games that those all sort of fulfilled my dream job. Huh.
Okay.
All right.
That's cool. And I mean, if at least one person makes money off poetry, then you can do it. So
that's all it takes.
I think that's. I mean, in this hypothetical situation.
Aww. Thanks. I'm gonna have to start writing a lot more poetry a lot faster then too. All right. Let's hop on to the next question, which is, what's an animal you wish you could have added to UCH?
That is a very good question.
There's so many.
Excellent.
And I'm sure you've tried some of them too, right? And they just didn't work out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of ones that we tried that didn't work out. The worm, we tried the worm, and that became the snake. Or I think the worm was the second skin for the snake.
We tried rhino as well. It didn't work.
And that became elephant. Or no, hippo, right? That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because rhino became the triceratops, and then as its second, and then we changed the first to hippo, which fit the. I always really liked the fox. I saw fox fan art like, I don't know, 2017 or something, and I just always liked that so much, and I just love foxes. But then the red panda kind of sort of looks like a fox.
It does, right? They kind of look like a fox bear hybrid, so they're
and in our case,
it.
because it was based on a raccoon, like it's.
I went to the zoo with Daniel, and they had a red panda there.
Whoa!
I thought they were like this size. They are huge. They're huge. They're
How
bigger
big are
than they're bigger than the panda. They're
What?
huge.
They're very big.
Are you sure you're talking about a red panda?
Yeah, it was. They had a sign like red panda. I even said to people like, "Hey, I drew that. I made that for the game."
You said I invented red pandas.
No, like I am so sure that red pandas are like the size of like raccoons or small dogs.
They are bigger than elephants.
I don't.
But they are big. At least the one I saw at the zoo was huge.
They can be, yeah. I mean, have you seen Turning Red, I want to say? That Pixar movie that came out?
Yes, I saw.
So
I have
good.
not, but
Oh my goodness. So good.
okay, so this. Sorry, I'm looking.
I was gonna ask you.
National Zoo.
Did you guys
22
make
to
the game?
24 inches.
That's one of the first questions we got. Did you guys make the game?
yes, we did.
And
yeah,
then
not only us, but
yes,
there were more folks.
Off
So
and on through the
originally-
years.
Yeah, originally it was myself, Alex, and Kyler in the first year until it came out, and then we hired another programmer, Ben, like 4 months or so after it came out, and then we hired Fabio almost exactly a year after it came out, and did a million more updates.
I think if I were to like retroactively transport myself back in time so that I could have a say on what was going to be an animal in UCH, one of the chatters said a koala. I actually do love koalas, and I think that could be a good like alt skin potentially for something. But if not, I think an armadillo. I'm like, how would you make it work? I don't know, but they're so
It's
weird
interesting.
looking.
It's interesting you say that because I think koala may have been discussed at some point, but one of the key things was that we looked at the color palettes of animals, right? And like raccoon was already gray and not quite black, but almost like gray and very, very dark gray and white, and then sheep was white and black, and then we had chicken, which was white with the red and yellow and so on. And so part of the equation is also what color palette do we have or not have, and then the elephant. Obviously, elephants are not usually pink, but pink elephant also
Creative
was
license.
from the just from the I don't even know what you call it, but like the don't imagine a pink elephant, and then you imagine a pink elephant. So
Oh,
it kind of came from that, where it was like, well, we need a different color for the elephant, and we need a color that's not used by any of the other skins already or characters already, um, and that became that's where the pink came from.
I was thinking Dumbo. There's a scene where the song is Pink Elephants on Parade. Do you remember this? Okay, that's honestly where my brain went, but
I
perhaps
mean,
I'm
it was
wrong.
Kyler's brain, not mine, so I can't confirm, but I'm pretty sure that's. Um, and yeah, what was the other one? Armadillo. I think we talked about that too. We've talked. I mean, we've talked about. We have a list of like 130 animals or something that are all the things people recommended. That we've talked about many of them, but then we can only add one. And I think part of it also is we didn't want to add ones that are so like. Originally, we wanted to keep them sort of close to the farm-ish. Then they kind of got further and further, and then eventually we put like Triceratops, which is like
It's like
not
an
like
axolotl. Like, what farm is that?
Yeah,
Actually, maybe
exactly.
there's an
It's
axolotl farm
getting
somewhere.
a little further.
I also would absolutely be into, obviously, for personal and selfish reasons, a hairless cat for my own hairless cat.
That'd have to be a second skin of a cat, though.
I think so. Oh gosh, sure is a
Sorry,
second skin.
Sorry to your cat. Yeah, exactly.
Fabio, I don't know if you suggested something that you wish you could add.
So many things. I wish I could make some insect. I wish I could make a fish. I wish I could make an octopus.
Oh yeah, fish.
But I
love
would
fish
always
so
go
much.
to something I would always try to do something different. One thing is for sure, I would never want. I would never be. I wasn't going to be happy if I had to do a dog or a cat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your cat. Hairless cat. It's a bit better because it's not that common. But I would hate to do a cat or a dog. Not hate, but you get it.
I think
I
a
would
hairless
rather-
cat is.
I would rather do all of the other animal kingdom first.
Dang. What about like a
Yeah,
shark?
something different, like insect, something from the sea.
Oh yeah, love to see how you'd make a jellyfish work.
I bet that would be cool.
Yeah, this is also why we've like some of the challenges have been things like a fish where you're like, okay, what do we do? Well, it's something with the snake, right? Like we could make it kind of wind or whatever, but then like maybe instead of just to make the movement more smooth and not impossible to animate and not impossible to understand from far away, let's put it on a skateboard. So
Oh, okay. Wait, I think you just answered a later question.
there's more to that answer, I think, but you can ask it now and we can see if Fabio has an answer.
I think the question was just, why is the snake on a skateboard? I think I had it somewhere, or maybe I just
Fabio,
imagined it.
Do you remember the more details around this?
Yes,
Yeah,
totally.
tell us, regale us.
Someone at Discord suggested us a snake on a skateboard and sent us a drawing, a very simple drawing of a snake with like robotic arms. And one day we were discussing about a new animal, and someone said, "Oh, did you see that snake?" And I said, "Yeah, I would love to do that snake." But everyone was saying, "No, it would be impossible to do a snake." I'm like, "How would you animate that? Like, it would be very difficult." And I said, "No, because I had everything in my head. I would say we don't even need the arms. I already have a snake doing an ollie and a kickflip. I know how to do it." Then I went to the computer and I said, "Give me 10 minutes." I went to the computer and I did a snake on Quill. Remember that, Richard?
Oh yeah.
Doing a kickflip. I said, "Here, a snake on a skateboard. It's doable."
Genius.
And then you all said, "Okay, go for it."
Yeah.
And I did the snake. I love doing that snake because I love skateboard.
I remember before I worked here, like seeing this sticker on my friend's bike of a snake on a skateboard. I mean, it was your sticker, but it was just like, that's cool. Like, I remember always noticing it. I just be like, neat, but not really like putting two and two together. And now,
such a good bike sticker. Also, great.
It's a great. They're all kind of all like even the chicken kind of moving. All right, I got a new question for my friends over here. What's your favorite track from the soundtrack of UCH, and what do you think is most important for a good soundtrack?
That's such a good question.
Ba-dum-ba-ba-ba-dum. Nothing is better than that.
Okay, I'm gonna look at the track list because
I also really
have
like
to remember.
the wireframe.
Mainframe, yeah.
Mainframe.
Yeah, that actually was gonna be my. I was gonna say that's my favorite, and actually I do really like the sort of entrance main theme, although I don't know the actual name of what it's called.
I think it's just like main titles.
Yeah, I mean it is iconic in a way, but also I'm just so used to like.
Yeah, I really like the mainframe also. That was actually my favorite. I also really liked the crumbling bridge. That was very like medieval folksy, which was really good. Yeah.
Oh.
That one's definitely in my
she
head.
devil.
It's just always playing all the time.
Do you like
Yeah,
Dance Party?
is also fun. Yeah, Dance Party is also very fun. Except nobody likes the level, but people like the music.
Which one? Which one, Richard?
Dance Party? The level that's in the dark-ish.
Hey, chicken.
Miss Chicken. That's what we call my cat, for those who don't know.
Those who
I
don't
just
yet know.
Yeah, it was irrelevant to Ultimate Chicken Horse, but she is the ultimate chicken. Sorry to break it to y'all. These are all good choices.
Is she at Ultimate Chicken Horse?
She's actually better than me, so.
Yeah, Roller Coasters. I haven't listened to that in a very long time. I have to give it a listen.
Roller Coaster is the rock and roll one.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I find that there's a lot of compliments though on the soundtrack. That's like something I hear pretty frequently. It's like
it's amazing. It's amazing. Amazing.
Vibe is a vibe.
And
it's really good.
It's like there's an objective answer for the question: what's the better sound? What's the better song of the game? It like we all said we like wireframe.
Mainframe, yeah.
Mainframe. Can you sing a little bit of mainframe?
I'm not gonna sing.
There you go. Now
No, it has the thing in the background. The ultimate chicken horse.
Hey, everyone can sing. It's like, what Sonic song? Like, there's a lot of good Sonic music, but everyone knows.
That's so funny.
That's the best song.
When I think of good Sonic songs, I think of from Sonic Adventure 2, when the ska song starts, and then it's running around at the speed of sound, got places to go. That maybe doesn't stand the test of time anymore, but that's my childhood. Yep, Escape from the City. There you go. That's the name of the song.
So good.
The other half of the question was, what do you think is important for a good soundtrack? Fabio, it sounds like you're saying it needs sort of this like sort of timeless singability to it.
It needs to be
very memorable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple.
I would say like, so for this game, the audio direction, at least from us to them, because they did a lot of the direction on their own songs and so on, but they would always check back with us and things. The audio direction was always an undertone of funkiness in different locations. So it's like, how do you make? So it's like the main one is just kind of funky, and then the original ones like the farm has a little bit of like banjo and a little bit of guitar, but acoustic guitar, but you still want it to be funky. And then rooftops and waterfall and stuff are a little bit easier. But then even something like waterfall, it's like a little bit more like flowy. There's more like vibraphone. There's things that are like, because there's water moving and things like that. You're like kind of in the forest. But then as we got further, things like pyramid, it's like, okay, use different instruments. So in pyramid level, there's like tabla, and I think there might even be a sitar. Anyway, there's like instruments that are more like from Middle East kind of area, but with an undertone of like that heavy backbeat, like, and the idea is that it should always have that kind of funky undertone. And then so we did stuff like the ballroom with the chandeliers hanging there, and then it's like, okay, can we do like a waltz? Well, how do you make a waltz funky? And that was the task they were given, which is a very difficult task. They were able to do very well.
But it's so specific. It does kind of work, right? There's still some freedom
Absolutely.
to it and some specificity. I like it.
And they're really good. Obviously, they reuse the same that in kind of all of the levels in some way or another through different instruments and different like voicings and ways of playing with it. But I would say, to bring it back to the second part of the question, which was depending on the kind of game, you want to have stuff that's memorable for the different pieces of the game. So if you have like the same characters coming up, you want to have like little motifs that play when those characters come up. It's same as movie composition, right? It's like you want to have stuff that elicits the right emotion. But for some games, you just need like a weird kind of creepy ambient thing happening for most of the game, and that's actually what the game needs. Personally, I prefer games that have like a lot of melody in the songs. Like a lot of the Zelda games have, you walk into this town and it has its song that you can hum. I like that a lot more. I think like Japanese composers tend to also do more of that. I could also talk about this forever, so I'm going to stop. But that's
I mean, it's super interesting.
Those are my thoughts. I like
and
the melodic stuff and less like ambient, but the game doesn't always need that.
But when I think about some of my favorite soundtracks, that tends to be the case, and a lot of them are Japanese composers. So I mean, the Nier soundtrack is like fantastic, but I mean that's a totally different ball game. Like, not what I would put over Ultimate Chicken Horse typically.
No.
So somebody said, how come the song for the party game mode changes when you switch off of it, but then back to it? I'm not sure if you know what they're referring to, but maybe you do.
That was in chat? Oh yeah, that was in chat.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I can't even picture that, quite frankly.
Song for party game mode changes when you switch off and back to it. I don't really understand. Can you elaborate, please?
Yeah, that's a good question.
We can answer
I'm
another
not too
thing
sure.
while that is pending.
Yes, and somebody pointed out that Fabio kind of looks like John Turturro, who I love, phenomenal actor.
Who?
He's in a bunch of stuff. He's in Big Lebowski. This is probably a big one.
Again?
John Turturro. The thing is,
Got
but you're like I assume a lot taller than him because he seems quite short. I don't know.
John.
He is.
How do you spell tutu?
Oh no, he's 6 feet. Okay, never mind. I take it all back. But there is kind of a resemblance. It's not that far off. I mean, he's a phenomenal actor, so I take it as a compliment.
I don't think I look like him at all, but I really like him.
I'm gonna look up this person.
I don't
know any actors.
I don't think it's like I see what you mean, but
He's in Oh brother, where are you?
Okay, so we've had some clarification on that question, which is they said, I think they mean when you press the button that switches modes. Then someone responded with, there's a different song with each mode. So party mode has its own song, challenge mode has its own song.
Yeah. I mean, the main reason is just because it's fun. I think there was, I think that's really it. I mean, things change when you change the mode, right? Like it goes to nighttime and the disco ball falls when it's party mode and so on. So I think it may have been that in the treehouse we just had like ambient sounds to start, and then eventually we're like, okay, but you can't put the party mode button on and like the disco and all that and not have any music come on.
A great song playing, yeah.
And then challenge mode has like these neon lights and stuff go up. Like I don't know, you kind of have to do something. It also adds more, just like as a general game design thing, like it adds more response to the action that you do. So like people will jump on the button over and over and over, partly because the button is fun to bounce on, partly because the disco ball drops, partly because music changes and lights change and so on. So it's just like more feedback.
It's
Sorry if that's a boring game design answer, but it's.
I actually don't find that boring, but I'm in games, so I was like, oh, that's a good point. You're now getting Dwayne Johnson, Fabio. You're getting all the compliments today.
I'm just like The Rock.
Just like him. Okay, my next question for you is, what made you guys add jetpacks? But that's so funny that that's the one thing we're asking about. Like, there's so many other weird things in the game, but like, really where we draw the line is jetpacks on animals.
I have an idea. I don't know, Fabio, if you remember.
I do
this.
remember.
Okay, what's your story?
Let me hear yours. Let's hear your story first.
Well, so I don't know much except that we added it as a modifier first, and then I don't really know how it got from being a modifier into being something that was actually in party mode. But I feel like the reason the person's asking the question is because they're kind of like OP and there isn't anything else that's really as overpowered as that. So I could understand if they're like, it's annoying and I don't like that it's in party mode, which is why you could turn it off if you want to. But yeah, Fabio, what's your
I actually don't know how jetpacks went from modifiers to party mode.
Yeah, it's a mystery.
All right.
I think it might have also been something on the kind of tech side where it was like to test it, they just placed it in the world and then you could go to it and pick it up, and then yeah, like making sure that it attached properly onto the player and on the character and didn't come off from the character, all this stuff. And maybe it was just like easy enough to add it in as a separate thing, like because all the other modifiers are not like objects, right? They're like meteors or whatever. Like you can't. So we're like, oh, let's just add it in. I don't know.
A little bit of game design. We're getting a few comments here, and also a question. So somebody said that they like to give a risk reward sort of element to jetpacks. You know, if someone gets something good, you have to go through a risk in order to get it, which I think is sort of like taking what you've intended them for.
Yeah.
And the other question is, what are your favorite animals? Which I would ask, do you mean in the game or just in real life?
Yeah, good clarifying question.
Because there's so many animals. And like, do we mean a very specific one?
Just all of them. But I have a better answer if once we get clarification on it.
Yeah.
But I just love.
Let's keep going then. Yeah. I have my animals currently biting my finger, so we love all of them except for her. I guess I have a question for you, which is a little bit more specific, and maybe not everyone knows about it, but there is streaming assets that come with the game when you get it from Steam. And someone was asking if these are officially assigned colors, because you'll see that like certain animals have different color backgrounds. I believe like chicken has like this very bright green, and then like there's like purple for the chameleon, things like that. And I think that that's sort of a interesting question. Like, are these official colors? How come there's not that for all of them? Do you remember why those are there? Fabio's like, I have no idea what you're saying.
I'll let the artist start on that.
Do you remember this?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I do not. I do not remember that.
Hmm. Okay.
So it's interesting you bring up the those, because I just pulled up a picture of the pins that we made, the first pins that we made for the first event, and I remember sitting with Kyler and looking at the animals and having the he was playing with the background layer color and just like moving it around until it felt like it was something right that contrasted well and whatever. But for the pins, behind the chicken is purple, behind the chameleon is navy blue. So it's not actually those same colors, which ended up on the t-shirts, because the t-shirts were another aspect there where we only could choose from certain number of options. And so for the chicken, like, you could have done red or you could have done green, but the green looked really weird with raccoon, so we did raccoon in red, which looked better, and then chicken in green, and etc. So I think that was part of it, but I'm curious to know what is like the most commonly known like official colors, because the pins are not necessarily that. Yeah, but then the pins kind of do align-ish. Like, I don't know, Robot Bunny is orange, I think. Oh no, we made Robot Bunny's t-shirt pink. So
I know the squirrel is sort of like a magenta. Anyways, I was just wondering. So I guess there is sort of no rhyme or reason is basically the answer. They're all related to like a specific kind of purpose.
Yeah, I think it's always just like what looks best on a certain background for whatever reason, and that has changed a couple times.
Now we're getting what's our favorite animal. The question was actually in game. I think I can guess what Rich's is, but only because I've seen you like use the same sort of couple images for your pictures and things like that. I'm like gonna assume when you have a little avatar.
You not choose right.
For which my favorite animal in the game?
Really?
You not choose right. What do you think is?
I thought it was the red panda. Was I wrong?
It is nah.
What is the right one?
The right one is squirrel. It's the one that
You
you
love
play all the
squirrel?
time. I don't know if it's the one you like the most, but it's the one that you play the most.
Yeah, so I this is very interesting. I actually I would say I play chameleon and squirrel pretty much even amounts now, because I think squirrel's tail is a little bit confusing for trying to avoid obstacles and things. But yeah, my favorite is definitely red panda. So Sid got it. It's also isn't it also my avatar thing for the not avatar, but my little thing for the stream.
I never saw you playing red panda.
I don't usually, but I like it the most. But then real world animal is currently, it changes like every 6 months or so, but currently it's a stoat. Stoats are the cutest things on the planet.
What's a stoat?
It's in the weasel family. I don't think
rat.
it's necessarily
Rat.
a weasel. No, it's nothing like a rat.
We call them
Oh, I
rats.
love rats.
It's a
I
rat.
love
So-
rats.
They're not even close to rats. They're like the teddy bear of rodents. They're
Also
so
known as-
cute.
Also known as a tube rat.
They're my favorite, and they're tiny, and they're just extremely. There's one video on YouTube of a person talking through like the adoption and releasing to the wild of a baby stoat, and it's like a 5-minute long video. It's not like a cute little TikTok or whatever. It's like full on 5-minute YouTube video, and I just watched through the whole thing like 3 times in a row, several times. Just so cute. Anyway, that's my.
I'm giving some good chin scratches right now. I'm sorry. She's staring at me while I do.
Because she knows you're talking about animals.
Yeah, she heard chicken. She's like, that's my name.
What about you, Fabio?
I don't know what yours is. Fabio, I assumed the chameleon, but that's only because you choose it as your thing sometimes. Your picture.
I don't have a favorite, for the game. I have the ones that I play the most. I really like to play with chameleon, with snake, and with chicken. These 3 are my favorite ones to play. Yes.
Oh, yeah, snake is really cool too.
Snake, because I can do like kick flips all the time. Breast dancing.
Most important.
Yes.
Necessary. I think that in the game, I love the fact that there is an axolotl, so that's almost like kind of a favorite. But I would say I actually really like sheep solely because the voice is like so cute and endearing. I love the like sound of it. I like even when the sheep kind of like dies, it's like very cute. And so that's sort of a go-to.
Screaming?
Yeah, I mean they all kind of die screaming. Don't we all? But I think in real life, but I also like the like the little noises. It's so cute. Like that is too endearing for me. But in real life, it's a hard call because I really like a lot of animals, or like specific breeds of animals. Like I really like Salukis. Those are like a kind of dog that are like really skinny, like greyhounds almost with really long fur. They're just really weird looking. I love an ugly animal.
I thought, oh yeah, Salukis. Salukis are the best. Actually, no, I don't think that. There's a dog that I know that is a mix of Saluki and Husky.
I know this dog.
Yeah, you do know this dog.
I do know.
Common friend. It is the cutest thing on the planet.
Oh, so cute. And like has just gone from a very shy dog to a very like, because like it was adopted during COVID and is now much more like boisterous and fun.
Less scared, yeah.
So sweet and really beautiful.
When you said Saluki, I thought you were saying Tanuki, which is another kind of
raccoon,
animal,
right? It's a kind of Japanese.
It's a raccoon dog.
I actually just thought it was a raccoon.
It's Japanese raccoon dog is a species of canid. It looks like a raccoon mixed with a dog.
Tanuki?
It's Tanuki. Tanuki.
It's another.
Oh my gosh.
Yet another rat.
You all are putting names of animals I've never even heard of. The Mexican hairless dog.
Yeah, I'm looking
oh
at this
my
Mexican
goodness,
dog.
that looks like my cat.
That's so strange. Oh yeah, that's the movie that was in Coco. I mean, the dog that was in Coco, right?
I actually haven't seen Coco, so I'm gonna say yes tentatively.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a yeah.
Sweet.
All right,
So
I got
good.
my next cue for y'all.
Okay.
If you had to describe the UCH community with one word, what word would it be?
Hopefully, wholesome. That's what I want to say.
Is that true, friends?
Am I right? I don't know.
I think I'm gonna say charismatic. Very charismatic.
Creative.
Very true.
That's-
Super creative.
Yeah. Some of the fan art stuff is just so cool.
Yeah, lots of cool fan art, lots of cool ideas, lots of cool maps.
Very.
The
Yeah.
level.
I think there's some good personality and like very creative, but also very funny. I would actually say that a lot of the community is quite funny too. But I know I wasn't supposed to say another word. I apologize.
Well, we ruined the question.
I'm so sorry, everyone. I will be packing my bags.
When you are literally packing all your bags.
It's true. I am
Because
moving. I was like, what? Okay, I have a few more quick ones for you, which is, what's your favorite board game? We can also throw in card game. Sort of handheld game that's not a game, a video game.
What's your favorite board game, Richard?
I've really liked Carcassonne recently, which is, I'll just write it in the chat, Carcassonne, which is like a sort of tile-based game. Each person adds a tile, and you're trying to build, like the tiles have different features on them, so you can have roads or pieces of buildings or things like that, like pieces of cities. You're trying to build in by adding to the board things that like close off cities, and if you close a city, you get points. If you finish a road, you get points, etc. So it's like spatial and orienting and so on. But
Never even seen this game before. Oh,
it's
actually, I've played
haven't
something
seen
like
it.
it though.
okay. It's like very very famous, though I never knew the name until like I'd seen the box 150 times, but I never knew the name because it's written in a kind of weird font and like it's a weird name. And yeah, But that would be mine for now, I think. Okay.
I like this.
Or Snake.
I like I mean, I used to work for a Magic the Gathering store, so obviously there's that part of me, but that's not quite like
Yeah.
a board game. I would say it's I'm like gonna mess up the order of this, but it's House on Haunted Hill. I want to say something like that.
Oh yeah,
House.
that's like a co-op game, right?
Yeah, it's super fun, and it has a sort of D&D element where like each time you play it has a different Betrayal at House on the Hill. That's what I was trying to say. Sorry. It's based off of a movie that's House on Haunted Hill. Betrayal at the House on the Hill. And it is super fun. It's such a fun like Halloween time game. You can it goes from incredibly serious to, depending on if you get the right campaign, it can be super spooky. I do have a soft spot for horror. Yeah. Fabio, how about you?
I don't play that many board games. I used to play one a lot though. Do you know this game? War?
Like with cards?
You mean the
It's
one where you just flip one at a time?
No, War.
Okay, different
War.
game.
I never finished a war game in my life, and I played a lot.
I wonder if
Every
that's
war-
Risk. Is
Oh,
it
you might be.
Is it different from Risk?
I don't know. Maybe
It's probably translated from.
had a different name in Brazil.
Yeah,
Oh, maybe, okay.
Risk.
because Risk is like when people
War.
say I never finished a game of this. Usually Risk is the one that comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But also-
it always ends up in fighting. People fighting with each other. I think it's Risk. It
Huh.
looks a
Yeah.
lot like Risk, but in Brazil it's
surprise.
called War.
Interesting, because War in like where I grew up was just a game where you like flip a card at the exact same time, and whoever has the highest card wins the other person's card or something like that. Like it's really like not a complicated
completely-
game
It has
for
nothing to do with
kids.
anything.
Yeah, like it's a kid game essentially.
Is Risk the one where you got your at the beginning of the game you have your mission, like you have to conquer this continent, and destroy all the red
I think that's Risk.
the red team.
Or is that
Yeah.
Battleship?
Risk.
I also love word games. Like I love a good word game. Somebody
Mhm.
asked if you were
Yeah.
from Brazil, Fabio.
What?
Somebody asked
from
if you were
Brazil.
from Brazil
I am from Brazil.
because they said they're from Brazil currently as well.
So ask this person.
They're in Brazil
It-
currently. They're not from Brazil.
Hey you, hey you. So you know War, right? I'm pretty sure you played War. I'm pretty sure you played War.
They do know
And
war.
you
They said
didn't-
I know war.
You didn't finish the game because you fight with someone.
Like Monopoly.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
One of the
We used
questions
to
you were
play.
Oh.
Sorry, I was gonna say we used to play Monopoly, but like cheating was allowed. So,
Damn.
like cheating was allowed, but also there are two different types. One was cheating was allowed. The other one was that any deals of any sort were allowed. So as long as you agreed to the deal, you could do it. So you could like
Very real
lend somebody
world.
money for like interest, and like each time you pass go, you need to pay me 100 for the next 12 turns, unless you give me this thing in the next 6 turns, because there's like a chance that you're gonna roll and buy it. So you have to buy it. You agree by me giving you this money that you'll buy it if you go there and give it to me, etc.
You made the
Yeah.
game more realistic.
So
I was
well, yeah,
gonna say
because the game itself is
it's
kind
like
of
real world.
um,
I think this is a great one to sort of end it off, but we could ask a few more questions if you so please. You guys let me know because it's your time.
Yeah.
Let's say this is the last one. Did you guys think that UCH would live for this long and develop the community that it has?
no, definitely not. I mean, I think. Go ahead, Fabio, and then I'll answer.
We don't need you. We don't need you. I
The
joke.
community or Rich?
Yes. Yes, I joke.
Me or the community? I don't know which one's worse. Probably community's worse.
Probably community's worse. And
Because you can get rid of me. You can
We
still
don't.
keep going.
We don't need the community. We don't need you. We don't need you.
also Someone just asked me if I put the hyphen into the off-topic channel, which I didn't. I don't know why that's...
Why is that a question? But I would say for in terms of the did we know that it was gonna like take off and have a community like this and so on? Like it started with a game jam, as people know, and then we did like another little showing off the game, and then we did a Kickstarter. But even when we launched the Kickstarter, we're like, okay, well, if the Kickstarter doesn't work, we'll just like make it smaller and then put it out for $5 or whatever. And if Kickstarter does work, we'll keep working on it, you know. And then we went to a show, and then people really liked it, and they're like, okay, we can actually put more into this. So at no point were we like, oh yeah, this thing is gonna take off and be huge. We're gonna build like a massive community. We're always like, yeah, it's really important to make sure we have a community, but we didn't expect it to go well really at all until we were like 6 months before launch, when we went to shows and actually got a lot of interest and like clearly saw how much people were into it. And then by the time Fabio came on, it was already, you know, it was already there's already a pretty big community that had started, and I had handed off community management and stuff to I guess not yet. That was only after it. We hired Jen to do community management and marketing, because I was not all that good at building and maintaining community and marketing stuff. So until we hired someone to help with that.
Join the club. No, I'm kidding.
This is why we hire people like you.
To bully.
But, yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's definitely been quite an exciting ride and surprising. Yeah, it's not every game, or most games don't last nearly this long, even online ones. So we're happy to be among those games that are able to survive for years and years,
especially
and still going.
Indie ones too, quite frankly.
Exactly.
I think I was even surprised by the fact that people outside of sort of the gaming sphere knew the game when I would be like, yeah, I just started working. And people would be like, oh, I know that. I was like constantly surprised by that. I guess you just don't even realize like how big that sphere is. I shouldn't be surprised. How insulting is that? I'm so sorry.
I'm surprised when anyone, like, I don't know, my dad just told me is the like door person that is in his building, like asked like, oh, do you know Richard? Because I like play this game all the time, and they saw my dad's last name, obviously, which is the same as mine, and they were like, do you know him? And he's like, yeah, that's my son. Why? And it's like, oh, because I like play their game all the time, and da-da-da. And that is always like surprising to me, and it's like maybe it shouldn't be anymore, but like I don't know, it's still cool, and awesome, and different. And like, whoa, people know what this thing is.
Or it's bizarre. I was telling you guys that when I went to that, I mean, I get it's Montreal, so everyone sort of knows gaming, but going to an event and there was the Ultimate Chicken Horse Cups there. So people would be like, what do you work on? And I would be like, and raise the cup. And everyone would be like, oh, I love that game. Oh, yeah. They like oh, okay, cool. Awesome. Neat.
It is very cool.
It feels it's like, I can't even imagine. I wasn't even there since the beginning, so I imagine it's even more bizarre and mind-boggling. All right. Yeah. Thanks for chatting with me. Thanks for answering, Clev and Dev.
Thanks for asking us questions. And thanks to community folks for asking us more questions.
Thanks to community. And actually, for those who are in the Discord, Terry just posted the fan art that Fabio mentioned regarding the snake on the skateboard. So head on over and look at that beautiful snake on a skateboard.
Mechanical arms, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I was just looking at that. I was like, oh, that didn't stay.
Oh, you had in discussion. Nice.
All right.
So cool. All right. Well, thank you. And again, thanks to thanks to the community, who might be a cast of characters also, but I read them. Yeah. See you next time, folks.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
Goodbye.